My name is Shawn Conway. I'm the Senior Director of Operations at Cambrex High Point. The thing about working at a CDMO as opposed to other companies is the variety of work that you get to work on. I think most people who are in the sciences, whether it's a chemist or an engineer or whoever it may be, they're driven by being able to solve problems and get those different types of technologies. We deal with just about every type of client you can imagine over the course of the industry, starting from small biotechs that are essentially virtual companies that might be 3 or 4 employees in total, all the way up to large pharma. And then you add in the fact, obviously, that we're in the pharmaceutical industry, and it truly is a series of products that make people's lives better. And being able to make an impact at the end of the day is something that's not many people can say that they do. So we have the full array of services you would expect for someone in that industry, from process development, from a chemistry and engineering perspective, analytical development, manufacturing, non-GMP as well as GMP. The biggest challenge in the environment that we work in is the importance of the timeline for most of our clients. Everyone will say, when you're dealing in kind of an R&D and a clinical space, there's always technical challenges that you're going to face. That's always going to be the case. But in the vast majority, if not all of the cases when we get the projects that come to us, we are the critical path for getting that material made and into then the clinic so that they can start getting those results and hopefully get that drug on market to be able to help people. Flow chemistry is an enabling technology, and it is changing the industry. Continuous processing as a whole has been around the chemical industry for centuries. In the pharmaceutical industry, it is becoming more prevalent, but is still an emerging technology. It's going to be an enabling technology to be able to make processes run more efficiently. We've had the ability to work on a large number of projects in flow chemistry specifically over the last 5 years. There's lots of examples of collaborative work. There's one that comes to mind specifically is with a large global pharmaceutical company that we're working with who has internal resources to also do some flow chemistry. In some situations, you're dealing with companies that may not have that expertise in-house, and so it's a little bit of a different journey. But having that ability on their end and being able to work with the process collaboratively, I think has led to a better example. It's also an interesting example in the fact that throughout the course of that development work, we were essentially competing with a traditional batch process, which had been developed at the client site, and trying to show value as to why it made sense to go with the flow chemistry approach. So there was a vested interest on both sides to be able to be successful. And so there was a lot of really good sharing of information to be able to get there. It allowed us to access not just the chemists and the engineers and the analytical chemists on our side of the equation, but then also that same group of people on their side. It's extremely powerful because you're dealing with people that have specific skill sets and expertise that we may not have from a specialization perspective, but being able to leverage that is extremely powerful. One of the things that we try to do at High Point and Cambrex in general is to take a lot of focus onto that long-term sustainability and life cycle of the processes and the projects we work on. So as part of that, we have that process that I've mentioned a couple times already, where as part of the deliverable for that, we are looking at sustainability metrics. We are doing a carbon dioxide footprint calculation for what we see as the improved process versus what the original traditional process is, so that we can actually quantify what those improvements would be, which will then hopefully be able to help make those decisions once it gets up to an upper management level where someone's making a decision as to which direction to go and to which molecules to pursue. Being able to work collaboratively with all the teams across Cambrex, I think, has put us in a really strong position to be able to really drive this technology into the future. I think it's also one of the things that differentiates us in the industry as well.